I want to start today differently, not with a hook, not with urgency, with something quieter than that, with the kind of stillness that arrives when something true is about to be spoken and the air around it needs to be still enough to hold it properly. So just breathe for a moment. Wherever you are, whatever you came here from, whatever is sitting on your shoulders from today or from the last few months or from longer than that, just breathe. Set it down for a few minutes. Because what I want to speak to you about today requires a kind of inner quiet that is difficult to access when you are carrying everything at once. Ready? Okay. Here is what I feel. Something is being prepared for you. And I need to choose my words carefully here because I do not use the word prepared lightly. I am not saying something is arriving. I am not saying something is possible. I am saying prepared deliberately, intentionally, with a specificity that has your name written on it. Something is in the process of being assembled in the space just ahead of where you currently stand. Something that is being built from the particular raw material of everything you have been through, everything you have learned, everything you have survived, everything you have quietly, faithfully continued to believe in, even when believing felt like the most difficult choice available. And what is being prepared is something your life has not held before, not in this form, not with this completeness, not with this quality of rightness. I want to speak about faith for a moment, not in a prescriptive way, not assuming anything about what you believe or how you hold your spirituality, but in the most universal sense of that word. The faith that is not a religious position, but a human one. The faith that is simply the decision to continue moving towards something you cannot yet see. To keep going in a direction that has not yet confirmed itself as the right direction, but that something in you, something quiet and persistent and surprisingly durable, keeps insisting is real. You have been practicing that faith for longer than you have probably acknowledged to yourself. In the ordinary days, in the unglamorous moments, in the periods where the evidence for continuing was thin and the reasons to stop were many, you kept practicing it, not perfectly, not without doubt, but with a consistency that, when I look at your energy today, I find genuinely remarkable. That faith is not nothing. That faith is, in fact, everything. Because what I keep sensing is that the preparation I described, the assembling of something unprecedented for your life, is happening in direct response to the quality of that faith, not as a transaction, not as a reward dispensed by a universe keeping score, but in the way that water finds its level, in the way that seeds become what they always contained the potential to become, given the right conditions. Your faith, that quiet, stubborn, daily practice of continuing to believe, has been one of the conditions. Um, Let me stay here for a moment because I want to describe something I feel very specifically in your energy, a quality that I think you may not fully recognize in yourself because you have been too close to it to see it clearly. You have maintained something through circumstances that were designed by life, by difficulty, by the specific weight of your particular story to extinguish it, a softness, a capacity for genuine wonder, an ability to still find something beautiful in things, even after beauty has been complicated by pain. Most people, when they go through what you have been through, lose some of that. It gets worn away. The protective mechanisms that develop to manage pain tend to manage joy in the same motion, dulling both, in order to ensure that neither cuts too deeply. And while those mechanisms are necessary and intelligent, they come at a cost. You have paid less of that cost than you think. The softness is still there. The capacity for genuine joy, not performed contentment, but actual reaching, alive joy, is still present in you in a way that I find remarkable given what it has been through. And that matters enormously for what is coming, because what is being prepared for you requires someone who can receive it fully, who has not closed down to the degree that extraordinary things cannot get through, who is still, underneath everything, genuinely open to being surprised by life in the best possible way. You are still that person, and the life that is approaching knows it. I want to speak now about what this preparation actually looks like, what I feel when I sense the shape of what is coming. Because I think concreteness serves you better than abstraction, and I want to try to give you something real to hold. What I keep sensing is a convergence, multiple things moving simultaneously toward a single point. Not one breakthrough, but several in different areas of your life, arriving in close proximity, creating between them a kind of momentum that builds on itself. A shift in your material circumstances that creates breathing room you have not had for a while. A development in the area of connection, whether romantic or deeply meaningful in some other form, that brings someone into your life or deepens an existing presence in a way that changes the texture of your daily experience. A recognition of something you carry, some gift, some capacity, some contribution that has been operating quietly and is now beginning to be seen and responded to by the world around you. Each of these things individually would be significant, together arriving as they appear to be arriving in this period. For you specifically, they create something that genuinely deserves the word unprecedented. Not unprecedented in the history of anyone else's life, unprecedented in yours. The specific combination of what is approaching has not existed in your life before. And I want to be clear about why I believe that matters. It matters because you have been comparing what is coming to what has come before, calibrating your expectations against your history. And your history, while it contains real beauty and real connection and real moments of genuine joy, does not contain this, does not contain the specific fullness of what is assembling. And so when it arrives, when you begin to feel the first edges of it, the first undeniable evidence that something has genuinely shifted, there may be a moment of disorientation, a sense that this is too much, that you are not familiar with a life that looks like this, that you are not sure how to inhabit something this complete. I want to prepare you for that moment. I want you to know before it arrives that the disorientation is not a warning sign. It is simply the feeling of receiving something larger than what you have previously allowed yourself to hold, and it passes into something that I can only describe as a settling, a deep bone level settling into a version of your life that finally, after everything, feels like it actually fits. Let me speak to something now that I feel is the most spiritually significant dimension of this reading. And I want to say it simply, without dressing it up. There is a timing to this that is not accidental. The specific moment you are in, this point in your story, this version of yourself, this particular combination of what you have learned and released and built and surrendered, this is the moment for which what is coming was being held, not earlier, not when you were asking for it most urgently, in those periods where the wanting was loudest and the arrival felt most necessary. Now, this moment, the version of you that exists right now. And I think if you sit quietly with that, if you let yourself feel the specific rightness of this timing rather than the frustration of how long it has taken, you will find something in you that recognizes it. Some part of you that has always known this was coming, that held the knowledge of it through every difficult season, that kept a small and stubborn light burning, even when everything around it seemed designed to extinguish it. That part of you was right. It has always been right. And its patience, that extraordinary, unacknowledged daily practice of continuing to believe, is about to be met with something worthy of it. I want to say something about the people who have been on this journey with you, the ones who have watched you carry what you have carried, the ones who have seen the weight of it and admired, sometimes quietly, sometimes out loud, your refusal to put it down in the ways that would have been easier. Those people are going to witness something in the coming period that they will remember, a change in your life that is visible, a shift in your energy that is unmistakable, a quality of peace and fullness and genuine abundance arriving in your life that will make the people who love you exhale with relief and with joy. You are going to give the people who love you something beautiful to witness the fruition of everything they have hoped for you. And you are going to give yourself something even more important than that. The experience of a life that finally, fully, completely, without the persistent undercurrent of lack that has been present for so long, feels like enough, feels like more than enough, feels like exactly what it was always supposed to be. That is what is being prepared. That is what is coming. And I want you to go forward from this reading, not with urgency and not with grasping, but with the specific, quiet, unhurried confidence of someone who knows that what belongs to them cannot be kept from them, that what has their name on it will find them, that the preparation, however long it has taken, however many seasons it has moved through to arrive at this point, is nearly complete. Nearly complete, Virgo. And what is being revealed when that preparation is finished is something your life has never held before. Be ready, not with anxiety, with openness, with the specific, gentle, receptive openness of someone who has practiced faith long enough to know what it feels like when faith is about to be answered. This is what that feels like. If this reading reached something in you today, if it touched the part of you that has been quietly, stubbornly holding on to the belief that something extraordinary was coming, please leave a comment below. Tell me what you felt. Tell me what you are still holding faith for. I read every single word, and this community genuinely sustains me. Share this with someone who is in a waiting season and needs to be reminded that the preparation is not punishment, it is precision. A like helps this reach the people it is meant for. And if you are not yet subscribed, I would love to walk this journey with you. Virgo, what is coming for you has never existed in your life before, and it is closer than you know.